Hey everyone, Coach Dan here. So last week, exactly 1 week ago, I competed at my very first competition as a natural. The competition itself was a non-tested competition. However, I still ended up competing. I was just curious to see how I would do against enhanced athletes, enhanced bodybuilders, and I was pretty satisfied. In my regional show, I got first place. At nationals, I got fourth, so pretty good overall. And yeah, I dieted down as well, cut for 10 weeks straight, got some very good results, got to low single-digit body fat territory. I was somewhere around 6 to 7%, which is very lean for me, considering that I have never been that lean before in my life. I got some glutes striated, not super shredded, so I wasn't exactly 3 to 4%. That would probably be very hard, probably difficult or even impossible to do without diuretics or without drugs, performance enhancing drugs. So what I was able to do naturally, I was pretty satisfied with. So now it's time to start the bulk, and you are looking at a back focused workout with some shoulders sprinkled in at the end. I like to start off my workouts with a vertical pulling movement, so it's usually going to be some sort of lat pull down, maybe pull-ups. Prior to doing the pull-ups, I would probably throw in some scapular retractions just to get the lats activated. Now, you saw me doing lat pull downs. I will be doing 6 exercises in total, making it 12 sets. So 12 working sets for back, and then just a few sets for shoulders. I started off with lat pull down, wide grip, went up pretty heavy. The first 2 movements that you see me doing, so T-bar rows and lat pull downs, those were heavier 8 to 10 rep range with some partials at the end. I'll be throwing in partials pretty much on every single exercise for back. It is a lagging area for me, especially lats. And the reason I shift from lat pull down to T-bar row and not continue pounding my lats specifically is because so fatigue doesn't build up and I can have more productive sets overall. I alternate between the focus of the back workout, so I don't just pound my lats into oblivion and then shift over to upper back in mid traps. I alternate between the two. So after T-bar rows, I went ahead and got back to lats, and I was doing single arm dumbbell rows as you see me doing over here, focused on the contraction, slowing down the squeeze, and controlling the eccentric, controlling the stretch. These were done for higher reps, mainly because the first 2 movements will be the progressive movements that I'll be overloading over time, and also because there is no heavier dumbbells at this gym. Then I went ahead and did some closed grip or V-bar cable rows. Over here I was also focused a lot on the eccentric portion of the movement, but I did not neglect the squeeze. So you see me squeezing pretty hard, controlling the eccentric, getting a deep stretch. It's a full range of motion movement. I'm pretty much focused on the entire movement. I'm rotating my fist down. Now the reason I throw that in there is basically I'm trying to get a deeper stretch. So what I'm doing is I'm pushing my thumb and index finger downwards while I'm pulling my pinky back and upwards, rotating my fist down. You don't see it, obviously, but it is what I'm trying to do to get a deeper stretch. I'm also going to throw in some partials here at the end, just to really finish off this movement. And now we're going to go ahead and do some upper back, focusing on the squeeze. Now I like this machine. It's a very good machine to get a good squeeze at the upper back. It's also going to prime the rear delts for what is to come afterwards. So pretty much I'm just focused on the squeeze over here. Again, we're doing higher reps, 12 to 15, focusing on the squeeze. I'll also be taking this exercise to complete failure along with some partials at the end. So keep in mind, this is a week after my competition. The first week I was basically just recouping, gaining a bit of weight, carbing up properly, you know, getting back to my somewhat normal weight and body fat percentage that I can maintain easily, and then start my bulk from there. The main reason for the jump in weight is just so I can feel more comfortable overloading certain movements and doing heavier movements, compound movements, without the risk of injury. And this is an amazing finisher, you guys. Lat pullovers with the dumbbell banded. So the band makes it feel as if you are doing a machine. It is amazing. Literally the contraction, the stretch, the entire thing. So the stretch is mainly just the dumbbell weight, and then the contraction, the band just pulls on it ever so slightly, so I can feel a nice squeeze, and it doesn't loosen up at the top of the movement. There's no loss in tension at the top because the band continues to pull on the dumbbell. Again, done for higher reps, focused on the stretch. I slow down the stretch, even pause for a moment at the bottom. Now these higher rep exercises, they will be progressed mainly with additional reps, and once I feel like the jump in weight is appropriate, then I will take that jump. And I'm holding a bit of a stretch here at the end just to really finish off the lats before we start hitting some shoulders. Now I started off shoulders with some dumbbell Ys on an incline bench. I love this movement, so it's either going to be something like this or face pulls to start off my shoulder workout, especially if it's an isolation type workout like today. Now, one thing that I want to note is that usually when I do Ys or when I do face pulls, they are done in a very similar way. So it is not rear delt focus, it is not side delt focused, it is overall everything. So it hits both in a very specific way. There's also a variation of this that I like to do with cables, low mid attachment, single arm with a slight lean into it. Now you see me doing over here a superset, so I went from doing the Ys to wide grip upright rows for those side delts. Now once we wrap that up, I went ahead and did some heavier single arm rear delt rows. You see those rear delts popping. At this point I really got a lot of blood in there. I'm really feeling this movement very well. I'm doing higher reps, and I will also be throwing in some partials at the end. I'm using my opposite hand to support myself so I can really focus and isolate the rear delt. Then I do the same thing with my other arm, or other side rather. You see me pulling wide and flaring the elbows out, really isolating the rear delts. Little to no back is being used over here, it's just those rear delts. You can see them contracting, squeezing, and then stretching. And that pretty much wraps up our back and shoulder workout for today. This is after a full day of eating, because it's about 4 p.m. and I've been stuffing my face all this time. I already had about 3,000 calories or close to it. So yeah. So recently what I started doing is, after every workout, regardless of what muscle groups I hit, I just basically go through the mandatory poses for my category, which is men's classic physique. So you see me going through front relaxed, side, back, and again my other side. And now I'm just having some fun. I'm gonna go with my favorite classic pose. And basically I'm just running through some of the poses that would be asked during competition. You see me doing front double bicep. Now I'll go ahead and do the side chest. And I can clearly see that these are my weak areas. Shoulders are severely lacking. Back can definitely be wider to have a stronger V-taper. But it's a work in progress. This is my first bulk, my first proper bulk, so we'll see what happens. We'll see where we end up at by this time next year. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Yeah. That is what we are looking like.